Jackson, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Got your beautiful C6 here behind us, a 2006, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I'm glad you took the time to sit down and have a conversation about your car.
Oh, absolutely.
Fully Vetted is all about the everyday Corvette owner, and those are the people we want to highlight in our shows and get their stories from them. So I'm here today to get your story.
All right.
And your story began at what age?
Well, as far as being interested in vets, as early as I can remember.
Okay.
As far as owning one, 16 years of age.
Okay, tell me about that.
My grandfather, or step-grandfather really, he lived in Hawaii growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and vets were one of the few cars that was sports cars at least, that was capable of being imported to Hawaii readily, and it was more available. So he saw them all the time growing up. C1s and C2s mainly he saw there. He'd always talked about going to Bowling Green, Kentucky to the nursery and driving his back cross country and whatnot. He never ended up getting one. But when I was young, in his den or his office, he would have pictures of them. He'd show me them. He'd show me movies with them in them. He'd talk about them to me, and I just grew enamored with the vet is what he would refer it to. I thought it was this, I mean, the way he described them, he made them seem untouchable, these pure, perfect creatures of beauty. So for the longest time I thought, oh, I'll own one day. And then I started working, a real job per se, when I was 15, and I went, oh, this is attainable. This is doable in the next couple years. And so I thought, all right, that's what I'm going to work towards. And so when I was 16 years old, it was 2 days before 2024. So it was, December 28th or 29th of 2023, I bought my C5 when I was 16. I kept that for a little while. I was a tremendous amount.
Tell me about that car.
So it was a 1999 C5.
Okay.
It was black. When I'd gotten it, it was in solid condition. It had like 214,000 miles on it.
Somebody was loving it, weren't they?
The owner loved it. Yeah, he'd taken it on road trips to California. He'd taken it on road trips to the East Coast. Everything that you can imagine. He owned it from 2011 until when he sold it to me. And it was a 3LT package. It had a transparent roof. It had a heads-up display, which was pretty surprising for a 1999. Just shows how innovative Chevrolet, General Motors Corvette is. It was an automatic also. I don't know how to feel about driving a manual vet yet. I'm not sure. So an automatic was definitely the route for me to go, and it was plenty fast. I mean, still, that thing was doing 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds or less.
Really?
It was still a quick car to this day.
Well, what did the 99s have in it? What motor did they have in it?
That was the LS1.
The LS1.
I had the LS1 in it.
Okay.
So yeah, it was stock. It was base model. It was just a beginner vet, and I paid, I'll be transparent, I paid around $6,500 for that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about Corvettes, even the base models, they are nice.
Bang for buck.
Yeah, absolutely. For $6,500, that
For
is
$6,500, I was getting 345 horsepower.
That's a steal.
That's what the LS1s had them in 1999. It was 345 horses.
Yeah.
So for $6,500, yeah, that seemed pretty good.
Yeah.
Knowing
do the math on that. How much money per horsepower? We can do the math on that later. But yeah, that's pretty dang good. That's awesome.
it was a tremendous amount of fun, that one was. And I ended up selling that and putting the money I got from it into this one. And I bought this.
Was that the intention all along?
Looking back, it's a little tough for me to decide, because there were, I mean, back then I even had split parts of me that were going, keep it forever, it's your first one.
Right.
And then there were other ones that were like, you can do better. Come on, man, go for C6, go for C7. And so I want to say that it was partly my original intention. It was partly not to keep it, to sell it. I was up in the air until I saw this one, because even though I own this, I still look at other ones. Can't help yourself.
Yeah.
I still go on KSL probably more than I should.
Or you could have an email that alerts me every time one comes up for sale on KSL.com. Yeah, I know how you feel. Yeah.
I bought this one for $16,500. I talked him down to like $15,800.
Nice.
There's a gentleman up in Logan. He was the second owner. The first owner bought it brand new in 2006, paid for every bell and whistle he could, and babied the thing until he had some back issues and was having trouble getting in and out of it. And then he sold it to the gentleman I met up in Logan, Utah, and he was selling it because he was having a child unexpectedly, and this isn't exactly a family car. People ask me very frequently, oh, does it have back seats? And I said, no.
Nope.
You can ride with someone else.
Yeah.
that seat's for my girlfriend.
Absolutely. There you go. So you found this car on KSL.com, and how long ago was that now? It's back in March? Okay, so you've had it for 3 months now?
Just after the Ides of March is when I
Oh, awesome.
I know.
You'll remember that forever, won't you? Yeah.
Since then, I've already put 3,000 miles on
And
it.
how many does it have on it now?
Right now, it has got 152,000.
Oh, wow, it's in great shape for 152,000 miles.
Yeah, the owner that owned it from now until 2021 or 2, I mean, he seriously babied the thing. He drove it for that amount of years, you know, but it was a garage queen for him. You know?
Yeah, it's in really
he paid for the clear bra to be put on. He'd done paint correction to it with even the most minor amount of things happening to it. And then the guy I bought it from, he treated it pretty well too. I mean, he blacked out the indicators on the sides. He put the carbon fiber spoiler on it, and then the splitter up front, which I actually like. At first I thought I'll take it off, and then I've grown to actually really like those things. It gives it just a little bit more personality. But even then, he still took good care of it, and he was a young guy too. He was only late 40s. I say young guy because the average Corvette owner is
right. My age.
So young to the car, and still a little young to me. So.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, okay? Because I approached you about a week or so ago about doing an interview, and the reason I approached you is because I wanted young people on the channel to highlight them and their experience with Corvettes. Because in general, Corvette owners are a little bit older. Sometimes it's their midlife crisis car.
That is what they're very commonly defined as.
Right.
Is the midlife crisis dad car.
Absolutely.
I don't think they're just limited to that, though.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's why I approached you, because I wanted to get your story.
Because I looked out of place among a head of gray hair.
To some degree, and I could relate, because I had my first Corvette when I was 19. You know, so I was young and starting out in it too. I mean, and that's part of the joy of owning a Corvette, is being young and stupid.
Oh, I don't know that I'm stupid. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I had my driver's license taken away in 2 states because of my Corvette. I loved every minute of it. I wouldn't change a thing to do it again. But so that's why I approached you. And I want to get the younger people's viewpoint and stories about their love for Corvettes. Because, you know, most people nowadays are your age, they're going after the Japanese cars.
The JDM cars.
Yeah, the JDM cars.
Well, it's because they grew up with Fast and Furious.
Right,
I grew up with Corvette Summer.
There you go. Because your grandpa, right? That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to the story about how you came across this car. You found it on KSL.com. It's where you found your other one as well, too, right? Okay,
I love KSL.
It's a great resource for Corvettes.
It's a dangerous one.
It's a dangerous resource. It absolutely is. So, okay, so let's go back to the story about this. When you pulled up and you saw it the first time, what was your first impression?
Well, I got out of the car and I just was in shock and awe. It's the first time I'd ever been that close to a C6. It was new to me, and that's all that matters. I could care less if the car was from the 80s or now or 20 years from now. It's new to me, and that's what I value most. And so sitting in it, I just thought, wow, this is cool. My mind very first was comparing the differences between the C5 and the C6 I'd owned. So I was looking at everything with the shifter, I was looking at the door handles, because the door handles on the C6 are unique. I mean, GM's always been innovative on door handles.
They have, they sure have. Right.
I'd seen other people's cars do this, but I'd never been in one where he spoke to it and he said, give me directions back to Walmart, Brigham City. And it did it, and I went, whoa. And I saw there were seat heaters. And
so does everything work on it? That's nice for 150,000 miles.
I know, you'd think there would be some things here and there that go askew. No, all I've done to it thus far is an oil change and change the tires.
Nice.
And that's one of
I was going to ask you about the tires because they look pretty new.
They are new.
Nice.
But these are Coopers.
I love Coopers, that's what I got on my car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Are they all season?
They're rated all season.
Yeah.
So we'll see how I feel about that statement in November.
This is kind of how Fully Vetted got started, was second to driving your car. Corvette people love to talk about their cars. Or the Corvette Wave.
Oh, my favorite. I redact what I said about being my favorite part. My favorite part owning the car, my favorite part is the Corvette Wave. I wave no matter the cost. I will always
Absolutely,
wave.
yeah.
Yep, every time. I'll make sure I'm waving 5 minutes before they see me, so long as they see it. That's my absolute favorite part,
Yeah,
is being
it
able to wave to other owners.
It's a kindred spirit. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
And I think one thing I was saying is one thing you buy when you buy a Vette is you buy interactions.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There are given interactions that come with owning the car. First of all, the ability to show up at car shows, which is just great. I mean, I've met a lot of great people that way. The Corvette Club, obviously, that's certainly one thing, but
So yeah, let's plug the Corvette Club here. Both of us are members of the
Yes,
Corvette Club of Utah, so just putting a plug in
phenomenal
for
people.
Say hi to Don.
Yeah, if any of you own a Vette and are in Utah and we haven't seen you yet, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? Get on down here and join the fun.
Tremendous people. They're all so nice.
Absolutely, yeah.
I love them all.
So when it comes to this car, besides the Corvette Wave, what is your favorite thing about this car?
My favorite feature of this car is absolutely the heads-up display, or I'll refer to it as the HUD. I mean, typically a lot of people aren't buying sports cars for conveniency, so it's nice when you get a little added element of convenience in it, and one of those things is the heads-up display. The heads-up display started with the C5. I was saying my C5 had a heads-up display. It was a lovely, lovely thing to have. And since I've owned a Vette with the heads-up display, I've decided that any modern Corvette that I will own has to have one.
Don, do they come stock nowadays?
Yes, they do. They do.
I would think, but yeah.
I think they started stock with the C7.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong. They didn't come stock with the C5s or C6s. On the C5s, you had to either have the 3LT or the Z06. And on the C6, I think they came with 2LT. I know they came with 3LT. They came with the Z06 and they came with the ZR1. And the heads-up display is all the same throughout the different models, I can tell you that much. And let me just give you a brief rundown of what the heads-up display tells you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, first of all, I've got my RPM. So if I'm wanting to use the paddle shifters, I don't have to look down my dash. It's got the miles per hour, which is arguably the most important thing. I don't have to take my eyes off the road. I mean, there's a very big difference between your information being here and being here. And your eyes being here. I have to just look at it, and you can still see it. It doesn't obstruct your vision at all, and it's a game changer. It really is, being able to look.
I can see how it would be, once you get used to it, you would never want to go back.
Just 2 inches down. Like I said, telling you, I haven't looked at my dash for a while unless I need to look at something more important. It's got the amount of gas left in the car, it's got oil temp, oil pressure, and maybe my favorite thing is the G-force meter.
There you
This
go.
car, for being a 2006, mind you, is capable of telling you how many G's you're experiencing.
How many cars have that? You know, it's like
Serious.
Yeah.
I mean, in modern cars, sure, but in a 06, crazy. It's got 2 track modes, it's got a street mode, and it really is a game changer. And I almost can't drive without it now.
Show us your tie there, Jackson.
Oh yeah, got a C1, a C3, C2, C4. C1 again, and then another C3, and up here you've got another C4. So I can tell it's a little bit of an older tie.
Sure.
I can tell it's older right now, but it's just perfect, and I had to wear it to this interview.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's definitely in my top 3 ties.
There you go.
I love it to death. I love
And
it.
your couplings, show us your
Oh
couplings.
yeah, these were a gift from my lovely, lovely girlfriend. There are gold and black C7 logo cufflinks. And
Nice.
you can put up the image of the one of what we took in the car.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I love
Very sharp, very sharp. Cool.
I had to dress up in as much
Absolutely.
memorabilia as I could.
Absolutely.
It was either the
This is your
tie,
cameo.
it was either the tie and the cufflinks or the t-shirt I wore, but I just figured I'd dress up. This is an event to me.
Absolutely.
This is
Well,
something
thank you for taking so much effort and putting so much effort into it. And thank you for spending the time with me today. I really appreciate it.